Excuse me. Ooh. So I am currently sitting in my car at the parking lot at my new job, and I reached out to the company that helped me get this job to basically let them know that I'm overwhelmed because they're opening a new practice. A lot of things are up in the air, and I'm doing my training for phlebotomy right now. However, there's a lot more to the lab than just drawing blood. And being an LPN, most of the facilities that people work at, especially for me, every facility I've worked at, they have had their own phlebotomist, their own lab that sends off stool cultures and like blood smears, and they send off the pap smear after the nurse performs the pap smear with the doctor. So today is my second day of training at another location because our office isn't up and running yet, and I just reached out to the company that helped me get the job and told her it's very overwhelming. And the manager that hired me managed a surgical unit, so she's never done primary care. So she particularly doesn't know that it's very overwhelming for a nurse to have to draw blood. I have to know like what color tube to use, order of draw, what needs to be spun, what needs to clot before spinning, like numbers to call if I get a lab that a provider puts in that we've never drawn before. And today I actually experienced that like firsthand. And the lab tech had to call the lab and ask, who could help her to tell like which tubes to draw, what the code was. She was on hold for 35 minutes. I am not going to have time to be on hold for 35 minutes trying to figure out what lab and what tubes to use while my provider has patients in the waiting room waiting for me. He might need help with a pap smear. He might need help removing staples or, removing a mole or a cyst. I don't have time to be on the phones waiting for that. I don't have time to have, two people waiting for a blood draw, three people waiting in the waiting room to be called back, and then I still have patients in the rooms that need to be attended to. And it's just kind of overwhelming. And basically, because I got hired through a temp agency, so I'm not even hired by the actual company yet. I have to work for 520 hours, and then after that is complete, the company that I'm technically working for, if they like me, they can hire me. So I'm temp to hire. So, excuse me, I just had lunch, so I'm burping. It's just really overwhelming because, like the phlebotomist said in the lab, people that manage places like this that have never walked in our shoes and done our actual job, it sounds pretty on paper and it sounds good when you're thinking of it, but then when you actually try to get someone to work that position, it's very overwhelming. And I'm sorry that I keep looking up. There's a provider smoking a cigarette and I think it's funny. But people that have never walked a mile in a phlebotomist's shoes or a lab tech shoes or a nurse's shoes, or don't do your job, your line of work, they don't know what it's like. So the lady I reached out to at the temp agency said she would send a message over to the lady who hired me or brought me on, and she's going to try to arrange a meeting to see if we can get together and talk about it, because I am about 30-40 minutes away from my actual home base location training. So it's kind of hard to get a hold of her and speak to her face to face. I like talking to people face to face with things like this because it's just easier, and then they can actually hear me. I know like a telephone works too, but I prefer face to face method when I'm telling you how I feel. And I'm an honest person. And when I first came here yesterday, everyone that worked in the lab, they're like, oh, so you're a lab tech. And I'm like, no, I'm an LPN. And they're like, oh, so they're hiring you to do the provider's blood draw. And I was like, I'm going to be doing everything. And they're like, what do you mean by everything? And I was like, I'm going to be drawing the blood, sending it out, rooming patients, calling them back with results, helping the provider with all of his, pap smears and everything. And today it was a reality check. Like, Monday, I toured this facility I'm training at, and then the actual office I'm going to be working in. And I was like, wow, this is really cool. Like, I'm excited. And then yesterday, just trying to learn everything, like the order of draw and how to stick, which I suck. I had so much trouble tying a tourniquet. I felt like an idiot. But that's one of the examples of, when you learn skills, if you don't use it, you lose it. And so I stuck the phlebotomist that's training me yesterday. I haven't stuck anybody today. And I just don't feel that this training is adequate. So the original open date was going to be Friday, like 2 days from now. However, that's just not going to work because the office isn't even set up yet. Like, we don't have the exam tables, we don't have the fresh paint, we don't have nothing. So they want to push it to Monday. I am not ready to draw blood and know like what to send out because of the patient's insurance and how to clot the things and let them spin in the machine. Like, I am not a lab technician. I am a licensed practical nurse. Everywhere I have worked, they have had the lab technicians and phlebotomists working in the lab because that's what they are trained to do. Yes, in nursing school, we're trained to draw blood, but we are not trained the lab aspect of it. If I wanted to be a lab technician, I would have got the certification for that. However, I didn't. And I'm willing to learn this, just not trying to cram it into a 3-day period where I'm so overwhelmed and anxious. Like, I'm sweating balls right now. And I hope that the lady that is bringing me on to this company reaches out to me soon, because I get off at 3 today since the lab tech has to leave at 3. I don't have anyone to train me when she leaves. So I'm really hoping that she reaches out and wants to meet maybe after I get off at 3 and I can swing by there and just tell her like how I'm feeling, because I love the people that I've met throughout this whole process. Like, everyone I've talked to that works for this company, even at this location, they're so nice. They know what they're doing. They're professional, blah, blah, blah. It's the workload that I'm worried about, because I don't want to be juggling like blood draw, rooming patients, sending off specimens like pap smears, and messing something up to where HIPAA is violated, or, someone tries to hit me with a malpractice suit. I don't want to mix up anybody's results. Like, I just don't want to be overwhelmed, and I don't want to be stressed out. I want to help get this primary care off the ground and like help them develop it into a great practice, because patient care is the reason I got into nursing. I love caring for people, but it's just not going to work with me having to do the job of 2 or 3 people. It's just not. And I think because she's used to the surgical unit that she managed, maybe she thinks it's that simple for primary care. However, primary care / internal medicine is very complex, because you have people coming in with all kinds of diseases that need to be managed. They have hypertension, diabetes, they've gotten their feet amputated, all kinds of stuff. And I don't think she has seen that part. She knows of primary care. She hasn't seen what it's like to actually work in it, and how quick things can turn, when you have a patient coming in for a routine workup or appointment, and then they, pass out in the waiting room, or have a seizure, or start having respiratory distress. Like, I will have to act quick, because I'm the only nurse that's going to be in this facility, like in this office. And the other thing is, it's going to be me and my doctor. And the office we're in, we only have 2 exam rooms, because the office is already shared by multiple different providers that use it to see their outpatient patients. So it's going to be just cattywampus. It's going to be crazy. So I just wanted to update you guys on that. And I'm on my lunch break. I have like 10 minutes left before I have to go in. But I wanted to tell you guys, you know, what's going on. I've been training all week and it's just so different and so stressful, and I don't want to work at a primary care place where I don't have enough time to attend to the patients and really hear their concerns and their needs because I'm running around doing the job of 2 or 3 people. I want my patients to know that I am there for them and I have all the time in the world, per se, to tend to their needs, get the things done that they need done so that they know they're being properly taken care of. I don't want to risk my nursing license, and I don't want to be too overwhelmed with so many things to do. So just thought I'd update you guys on that. And I'm getting ready to go back inside. I get off at 3 today, which is kind of exciting. And yeah, that's about it. I will update you guys once I talk with the manager that hired me on and all that good stuff. So I hope you guys enjoy your hump day.